So they're like Cam running or bust. His accuracy comes and goes. Sometimes he'll throw a rocket, and I'll say, wow, that looked pretty good.
That went to Demir Bird on the dagger route. You can't throw it any better than that.
And he threw one up high to N'Keal Harry. Yeah, and it was a good throw. And it had juice on it. You know, I liked it. And then he threw some in the dirt where you say, what was that? I don't know. And he had that one magical night at Seattle. Remember that? When he threw for 397 yards and tacked on another 47 running the ball.
He had another big game throwing the ball here recently.
He's had
also.
2 300-yard games, okay? So, look, you said yesterday, this is Belichick's best coaching job, okay? I will give in to this much, that I didn't think they could even be 6 and 7 at this point.
Yes.
But he's actually, I'll give you, they have overachieved with what they have. I don't know how they just beat the Chargers 45-0 with Cam throwing for 69 yards. I got to tell you, it does not bode well for your man Anthony Lynn, the head coach of the Chargers, the guy you played with in Denver. It does not bode well.
When you get beat 45-0 and the team that beat you scores 3 points the following week.
Yeah, against your in-city rival in your same stadium,
But this is what we skip. If you look at it, you can do that. You can score 45 points if you get returns, and pick sixes, and scooping scores. Now, all of a sudden, because you're so challenged offensively, if you don't get that, you see how bad they look, Skip, when they don't get points any other place? Because now there's not a punt return for a touchdown. There's not a pick six or a scoop and score. And you're like, well, how are they going to actually score? How are they going to actually move the ball consistently enough to get the ball into the end zone? That was just bad. I mean, obviously I had to watch the game because we're going to talk about it. But if I wasn't talking about it, I'm not watching that. Look, and I love football, but I'm not just going to watch bad football just because football is on.
Yeah. Well, obviously the Rams took the opening kickoff.
They go
and drove it 75 yards in 6 plays, including a quarterback over the top sneak. And it's 7-0, and it just looked like,
And it was like, I mean, it was like boom, 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 end zone. And I'm like, hold on, Coach Belichick. Now, Coach Belichick, you normally come out with something better than this. You don't normally let a team just go right down the field. But when you do, okay, you make some adjustments, you settle down. But they still really weren't able to consistently stop the run. And that was the problem.
All right, so we have seen Belichick pull off wins opening day against Miami. That looks better and better, right? And remember, they pushed Seattle to the buzzer. It went down to the last play, and you said if Cam had just bounced it, they would have won the game. And they lost 35-30. So that was at least, I'm not going to say moral victory, but it was an impressive loss, right? And then they beat the Raiders at home. They won at the Jets, no big deal. But then they beat Baltimore in the driving, windy rain. And then they beat Arizona at home. Kyler was struggling, but still it was a nice win. And then 45-0 over the Chargers to get to 6 and 7.
And the thing is,
and they played Buffalo tight.
They really think about it. Cam fumbles the ball on the 10-yard line. Looked like they're going in to score.
Okay, so I can make a case Belichick was too good for his own good because the Cam experiment has failed to me. Listen, I love Cam because he's a baller. That's what I love about him. He will fight his tail off. He will do whatever he can to win a football game. I'm just afraid it's not enough. So I'm afraid if they part ways, remember, it wasn't until July 8th that anybody signed Cam Newton, and it was that guy.
Well, I think with the exception of a very few select quarterbacks, Skip, as quarterback starts to age, they need more and more help. And Cam is at that point of his career. He needs help.
I'm not sure anybody would have been able to.
No. You know what? Skip, I don't even believe I'm a homeboy. I don't believe Aaron Rodgers with that.
Okay, I'll buy that. So Belichick had a really good coaching year, doing a lot with a little. And the little is his fault. But when you get to 6 wins, all of a sudden you're sitting right now with the 15th overall pick. Well, it's not good enough because the guy you also were banking on for a long time, Jared Stidham, he called Stid.
He ain't it.
He ain't it.
He ain't it.
So while Cam has 5 touchdowns to 10 interceptions, Stid, in brief stints, has 2 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. And last night he looked even worse than Cam. And by the way, Cam had a QBR last night of 3. On a scale of 0 to 100. It's just horrible, and he now ranks 29th overall in QBR. So it looks like New England is without a quarterback going into next year.
They're without a lot of things going into next season, Skip. And here's the thing. Coach Belichick's going to have to come to the conclusion, and I know, Skip, he's been able to turn water into wine on a lot of occasions because when we look at his roster, it's not like it was loaded with talent. We don't look at it and ever say, man, they got Kansas City's roster, or they got New Orleans' roster.
Or for that matter, Dallas' roster.
Right, we've never said that. But, Coach, you got to do a better job of picking players. That's you. You draft the players. You sign the free agents.
Yep.
You got to do a better job than this. The days of you being able to win with marginal players and getting them, oh, you're going to play our keys, you're going to do your job.
Yep.
Nah, Skip, you can't.
So the only silver lining could have been for Belichick if he had said, I love Jared Stidham and gone forward with him. There's no way they have 6 wins.
Oh, absolutely not. He realized that.
They might be challenging the Jets for the bottom.
You're right.
Which would be a great thing for Patriot Nation because they would be in line for one of those top quarterbacks, right?
Which says even more about the deterioration of Coach Belichick and Tom Brady's relationship. That this man was willing to go forward because at the time that he made his decision, Cam was not available. He didn't know he was going to be able to get anybody, and he was going to be willing to go forward.
He was.
With Jared Stidham.
Right.
So that lets you know, Skip, how far that relationship between those two, historic quarterback, historic coach, had deteriorated, that I'm willing to go forward. Skip, ain't no way they win in 6 games with Jared Stidham.
No.
Jared Stidham, I don't care who.
Yeah, Brian Hoyer's still there. And he started the one game against Kansas City.
There's 0 chance, Skip, they got 6 wins. And like you said, they're battling Dallas, the Jets, Jacksonville, Cincinnati for a top 5 pick. That's what they would have been doing. Well, it's kind of bad now, Skip, because it's kind of like in basketball. Well, if you're not in the top 4 or 5, really, every once in a while, you might find a Giannis or you might get a Kawhi. But more times than not, look, guys, if you ain't get the first or second pick, you out of gas.
You're stuck in limbo.
Yeah. You right there in the middle. That's where you don't want to be.
Yeah. So that brings us back to Cam Newton. Let's say Belichick parts ways with Cam, which I believe will happen.
Right.
You can even make the case. Do you want to try Jared Stidham from here on just to make sure what you have or don't have?
You don't.
Probably.
Skip, with that offensive line and those weapons?
No, it's just horrible. But again, let's say this is the end of Cam in New England. Well, usually when that guy says no to a player, the league will say, we're out, right?
Right.
So could this be Cam's last hurrah? Could this be the end of his career?
Well, hopefully he can. Hopefully, like I said, I think the thing is, Skip, he's coming off that injury, those injuries. Hopefully, after a year, he has an opportunity to train and not rehab, and he'll be ready to go. But when you look at the Patriots, Skip, when they won games, what have they been able to do? Run the football. When they beat Baltimore, what could they do? They ran the football. Baltimore couldn't stop them. You look at the games they've won, they've run the football.
And the key downs, the key rushes are always by the quarterback.
Yes.
Right?
3rd and short, Cam's getting the first down.
Yep.
Or Damian Harris is getting the first down. Skip, and I think he went out of the ball game, Skip, because I tell guys, on a 7-step drop, you can't cut. Because if you cut the guy, guess what he's going to do, Skip? He's going to get up and sack your quarterback.
You mean the offensive line?
The running back. Right. Damian Harris cut, I think it was Young. Yeah. He cut, not only did he cut him and hurt himself, the guy got up and sacked Cam. It's a 7-step drop. Look, hit the guy in the mouth. He might run you over, but at least you're going to give him an opportunity. Yes.
No, I totally agree. So the point is about Cam, and I say this with all respect, he's too good. His aura is too big to be a backup quarterback. I don't see a future. If I owned an NFL team, ran an NFL team, I wouldn't want Cam as my backup. He's too great. You know, his mystique,
yeah,
resume.
He's never been a backup.
No.
So it's easy for guys that's been backups. I mean, it ain't no problem. Yeah, Fitzpatrick was hurt, but Skip, he's mainly been a backup his whole career. He'll come in, the guy gets hurt, he plays well, but for the most part, he's been a backup.
Right.
McCown, he spent 17, 18 years, Skip, as a backup. So it's okay.
They have no ego whatsoever. Cam has a big ego because he earned a big ego.
Yeah, Skip, I've been an MVP. I've taken a team to a Super Bowl, and now that guy, and you know, Skip, you know how guys are. That guy not better than me. So you standing on the sideline, it's cold, it's raining, you seething. Man, he's not better than me. I should be playing. No. I just won't care if he goes, I don't know what's going to happen with him in New England. But if he goes somewhere and Cam's healthy, I believe Cam, but he needs weapons now. Now, you can't give him this and say, well he ain't the Cam. No. Nobody's going to be.
What did he always have in Carolina as his security blanket? He had Greg Olsen. Who's a really good receiving tight end. He's got no security blanket. Who do you trust? Who do you throw it to? I don't know.
And the thing is, last night, now you're dealing with Jalen Ramsey. He's going to take your best receiver away. You're not fooling with him. The other guy's okay. I mean, he made a play. Your second corner, N'Keal Harry made a play.
Yep.
But now you're basically working two men. Your field's not open because Jay Ram's going to take the top guy away. So now what do? You're not running the football. You can't protect. This is what you get. You get 24-3 on a national televised game in which the team doesn't look very well.
They're done. That's it. You said yesterday you might want to make a new bet.
No, I don't want to make no new bet. That's why I don't want to make no addendums or amendments. I don't want to add. I don't want nothing.
Thank you. Game over.
I'm good.
Next question.
Well, I always root for Cam, so that was definitely tough to watch last night. And I do hope he lands on his feet, figures it out. But we're going to move on because what can we expect from Jalen Hurts' first NFL start?